happy day. Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching Emily Kavasumi channel. This video is about cake decorating, so you're going to decorate with me a cake that I have called Choki. Now remember that this channel is about prayer, this channel is about life to the fullest, this channel is about love, and it was about fun. So I am sharing with you about cake decorating. This is an art that I practice. We are making choki. I love naming things. I have named this cake choki because, well, it's choki. This cake is for a man. Every time a client tells me to make cake for a man, they usually come with no idea. They're like, you this is your field, you know what to do, you do something for a man. Because, well, when it comes to men, we don't really know what they want most of the time. Like, how can I, it's easy for me to make cake for a girl, for a child, a woman, but when it comes to a guy, oh gosh, I'm like, okay, what does he like, what is he into? And sometimes the client doesn't know. So in this cake, I came up with a cake I'm calling choki. I have chosen cream, like buttercream, but when it's cream, I have not added any color. And my idea is that it will help me contrast well with what I want to do. So as usual, we're going to cover the cake with frosting. We keep it to the minimum. The frosting that I put at the top when I was beginning is what I'm going to use up to the end. So I use my knife as usual. In this video, we shall still use a knife, a scraper, and a nozzle. So use the knife to just go around the cake. If you are skilled enough, you can scrape up to when you're done. But I always decide or prefer using my scraper because, as I told you, it is what I can usually keep perpendicular to the board. And I don't have to have a cake maybe which is big at the top or big at the bottom. So I decide to use this scraper, one of my favorite scrapers. I use it a lot because it has two sides. It has the serrations, the other side, and then on the other side it is plain. And then if you make a cake which is about 6 inches wide, it can scrape for you at the top. So let us make this cake neat. It would really be nice to make this cake rough at the top. This is a different design, so we move on. I will have to scrape off the extra icing at the top, as usual, keeping my knife to a smaller angle and moving the table, which in turn moves the cake. Okay, just keep going. The edges can be like, it's up to you whether you want the cake super neat or like the edges super sharp or not. But with buttercream, anything can really do. It depends on how you finish the cake. As for me, I think our cake icing is done and it's time to do the decoration, which is literally my favorite part, and it's what is going to bring out choki. So I have got myself grated chocolate, which you can call desiccated, and extra cream, buttercream icing, which I am going to mix. So when I mix them, what I get is what I call choki buttercream icing. So it is this choki buttercream icing. I don't know. I know some of you are wondering, where do you get this? It's just getting compound chocolate and then you grate it. But if you don't want to go through that process, you can try using chocolate chips. I don't know. You can heat them a bit, not heat, H-I-T. Or you can just get a grater and grate your compound chocolate, mix them a bit, and I think my mixture, is it a mixture? Compound is done. So I'll use it in the piping bag, and I'll also use it to cover just at the base to put a choky layer on this cake. This is my way of making the cake neat and also rough at the same time. So it's neat, but it's rough around the edges. So I am going to put this buttercream at the bottom all around in no particular order of height. Not so particular. Otherwise, I would have gotten a ruler or something to measure, or I would have used the piping bag. If I use a piping bag, it's going to give me an equal or even height of the choki. and that's not what I want to achieve today. So you keep putting. I don't mind when I am putting or when I'm applying. I'm not so like keen. Maybe I'm over. It has gone so far. As long as I don't reach the center, I am good to go. So just keep going round and round. You can do this with another color of icing sugar. That would also work. But remember, in this particular video, I wanted to produce something rough. That's why I had to add desiccated chocolate. You can use this technique with another color, like how I would have this cream and maybe use blue for another let me say, okay, I don't know what to call it, a boundary or whatever. Okay, now that most of my cake is covered, it is time to neaten it a little bit. Remember, the roughness is in the texture, so I'll still scrape it. Remove the excess icing from the board as usual, and then it's time to use my scraper. So same technique, keep it perpendicular, don't exert too much pressure, that will make you remove most of the icing. So just use a little pressure, pass it around, and I just love the hills and the slopes and the mountains and the valleys at the different sides. Okay, this cake can remain the way it is. I think it looks really great. But for me, I usually think that when it comes to a celebration, apart from the birthday boy or the birthday girl, there are other people around celebrating with them. So I usually like to add something a little bit, I don't know, different, something for everybody. Oh my God, it's just lovely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to decorate at the top. I usually do the opposite thing so that I balance. So it's not so exact, but at least there's some balance to the cake. Okay, so I am using the 1M nozzle to produce these ruffles. Remember, the angle at which you're piping, the hand movement, the nozzle, and the pressure you use is what determines what you produce. Okay, so I want to keep the decorations minimal, not too much. I think this cake, for a man, it can go. I am going to just fit a little bit by using a completely controversial color to pipe on the edges of the mountains and the valleys, just for the ladies out there, or for whoever wants just that pink feminine touch on the cake. I've already written on the cake, so I am just going to add on that boundary. In this style, you can also use edible paint or glitter, and you just paint the edges. Maybe this would look really lovely if it was painted silver or gold. We'll do something like this another time, but for now, this is how I've accentuated my cake, and I think it looks pretty nice. So it's a happy birthday to a great husband and dad. That's it.